Guys, we just got some massive news. Ash had an interview with Cirilla. We're gonna react to it, and I'm gonna give you guys my take on everything that we learned from the video, because there are quite a few spicy topics in there. Cirilla mentioned bigger content than the Doom Tower, with a free mythical as a reward. Then maybe a permanent mythical fusion, maybe empowerment for epic champions, maybe clan versus clan, clan wars, proper PvP, more nerf to polymorph, nerf to corpulent cadaver, and many other things that we're gonna discuss in the video. They're finally gonna increase the space for artifacts and accessories, and for champions. So there are quite a few good things to cover in there. Before we move over to that, I just want to give you guys a heads up. I won't be on for the next couple of weeks, guys. I'm actually heading to Romania tonight, so I'm going for my yearly holiday. Let me just put it like that. I'm going with the little one for the rest of the folks to meet him and stuff, you know. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I'll be on to reply to comments and stuff. So if you have anything, please feel free to add them to Discord or stuff like that. Keep them in the back of your mind for the next couple of weeks. I really want to disconnect completely. Like, I feel for the last 1 year, I've been just so plugged in. I feel like I need a bit of a break, a bit of a mental reset, you know. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do now. I can't promise that I'll be staying away for 2 weeks, you know. It might be hard, but I'm going to try to completely disconnect from the virtual world. Hopefully I'm going to manage to do it. But wish you guys an amazing time in the meantime. So let's crack on it. Let's see what exactly we have in here. And I'm going to put a bit of volume up to see. So I'm going to link the video as well in the description down below if you guys want to go and watch it all. We're not gonna do all that. But basically they are talking about primal shards and mythical champions. There are quite a few topics in here. Then we have corpulent cadaver nerf, huge new update, why rares in the primal shards, back to the update, artifact storage, polymorph, champion rebalancing, epic rare empowerment, clan wars, and more quality of life. So definitely head over and check out the whole video. Tons of information, but we're gonna stick with the more important things. So they're talking about primal and mythical.
Have been saying about the mythical champions and how the community has been really hyped up about the whole thing. So we thought that we might have had a bit of a falling out in terms of communicating the whole feature and probably properly addressing the issue of introducing these champions into the game and feeding them into the whole system. So we thought we would talk about this in the video, and that might come across better than we would, just throw out a text format of explanation somewhere. Where I wanted to start is from the changes that we implemented last week into the game, which had to do with the modifications to the Mercy system involving mythical champions, and then we reduced the price for shards, for primal shards, by adding them to regular offers.
So the whole mythical stuff was now received positive at all by the majority of the community, and mainly because it's just another cash grab. It's not new content, right? So that's what the game really needs, new content, because for the last 1 year or so we just got more things that they just ask for money, basically. So it's not something that's content, basically. Let me just put it like that. So she's kind of explaining they realized how big of a flop it was, so they had to act, reduce prices, change the Mercy, etc., because people were not happy. People were not spending as much money on them as they expected them to be, you know?
I don't think how regular they are, considering the fact that they just have been introduced into the game. But gotcha. My message is that this is...
And I just realized, I mean, I do tend to listen to all these things a bit faster, so let me just put it back on normal speed.
Is not it, and we have a whole array of other things that we would like to happen in the game that would improve the feature for players.
Thank you. First of all, just touching on the communication, obviously I've been talking to BJM a bit behind the scenes and stuff like that, and I know you've seen the community feedback, so wanted to thank you again. Whether it's good news or bad news or any news or whatever, just love when there's an open line of comms. So again, I really appreciate you coming on here and answering some of the questions that we do have regarding mythical champions and primal shards. I got to ask the first question that comes to mind, and that is 2x primals but no 2x mythicals. Are you gonna be doing any 2x mythicals? Because I'm not gonna shave until you guys do.
Me too.
Is that a no?
The short answer is not yet, because there simply are not too many mythical champions in the game for now. We will keep gradually releasing them, and then consider launching some kind of an event like that. So it's not a hard no, it's just not yet.
Okay, so there's just okay. I mean, we can move on, but essentially, there's only what is there 6 or something right now, or so it feels like 5, 6.
Yes,
So you just don't want everybody to get them,
5 6.
basically. You just
It has nothing to do if they're too many or they're too less. That's the 10x event. So you don't do a 10x event when you have 5 champions because it makes sense. They're only 5. Let it be hard for people to get them. But the chance of increasing from 0.5% to 1%, it makes no sense and cannot be justified by the reasoning of there are not too many mythical champions in the game, because it just makes no sense. And yeah, they don't want to do it, basically.
you don't want everybody to collect them all, and then there's no reason to like to want primal shards, basically.
It's it's a bad question, but yeah, it's just give us a little bit more time
Okay.
and let us just pour more of them into the world of Terraria, and then some kind of an event
5 more
is
mythical. There you go.
like that is going
20
to
more.
happen.
So mythical champions, generally speaking, do you look at that update as a success so far? What do you think? Some people are like, wow, they're very underwhelming. Others are like, oh, they're you know, they're interesting, but they're not, they don't, their OP-ness does not justify the cost, I guess. And then others are saying kind of ignoring them until the prices come down. Again, you have had some movement in the Mercy and the cost in that direction. Others are like, I don't want to open a Primal Shard you know, because I could get a rare champion that's a campaign farmable. So there's all sorts of opinions out there. Mythical champions, should they be better than they are?
Well, we hear and see a lot of opinions. They differ. Some players are saying that they should be OP. Others are saying that no, they shouldn't. We ourselves are leaning more toward the thought that they shouldn't undermine all the years of the progress that players have been making in the game. What we wanted to do, our main intention was to expand this pool of possibilities to play with the metamorph mechanics of these champions. So no, we don't think that they should be too overpowered, and this is why we are not we're not letting develop 2 sets of artifacts, because that would bring them obviously closer to being too good.
So I agree. I don't want Mythical to break the legendary champions, because you know what? How she said it, they've been years of collecting champions, and the main idea that kind of like plays in here, guys, is the simple fact that value preservation. So if they don't have value preservation, they're gonna lose so many players that is just insane. It already happened with Artifacts Ascension, with all that stuff, you know. So if they're not doing things right, like they're just basically chopping their own legs off, you know. And a lot of times they're doing that, like they are pros at chopping their own legs off, but it's good that they're not going too OP. Now, I do think the Mythical look awesome. The Metamorph idea is amazing. I don't necessarily dislike the idea of having just one build. I think you can kind of like play around with it and you can do something creative. And I agree, you don't need 2 builds for them. But for the love of God, they need to hit harder than a freaking rare champion. Like, their multipliers are trash. This doesn't make them OP, right? Like, just give them a bit of juice, man. Like, they need to be useful. Like, if I'm pulling all these 5 mythical champions and I vault them all, because I'm still gonna go to Rotos, I'm still gonna go to Taraz, I'm still gonna go to Georgit, Baron, Tranda, and the other champions. Like, what's the point of even having mythical in the game, you know?
Yeah, and we'll just keep gradually releasing them, not at a very fast pace, like 1, 2 per month.
Not at the very fast pace, 1, 2 per month. We're barely getting 2 legendaries per month. If we're gonna get 1, 2 mythical per month as well, damn guys, it's gonna be a bit of a party here, but it's fine. I don't mind if they're bringing new champions. I like them to bring new champions. They need to make their money. Of course, is a business. This is like one of their main source of income, you know, summoning. But I just want them to be a bit more decent, man. Like, to actually be worth it, you know. Like, right now, in a way, it's kind of like good for me. I don't spend barely any money in the game. I don't want to spend on primals, that's for sure. So having them trash, you know, like average like this, is good because I'm not tempted by any of them. So my brain cannot trick me into spending any money.
I think would be enough.
Yeah.
But we will be introducing, and this is really important, we'll be introducing more ways to actually get champions in the game by, throwing in more resources.
Okay, you mean like quartz and stuff like that? Is that what you're referring to, basically?
Yeah, there are a couple of places that we are not considering already because this has been discussed and in development and will soon appear in the game. So the Hydro Clash. First, we are going to add more primal quartz in chests, and
Thank you, because the amount that you're giving us in Hydra Clash is ridiculous. 30. You need 4 weeks to get one summon. Like,
also we're thinking about adding mythical tomes to those chests.
there you go. Now that's something that I like, Cirilla, because I asked the question 4 times or 3 times in a content creator chat. How can we acquire mythical tomes? You know what the answer was? Exactly what I thought. That was the answer. Silence. So it's good to know that they are planning that.
Only in events and tournaments, and soon, the Hydro Clash itself will become more appealing because you'll be able to get more quartz from the chests. Also, the question that may follow is about the cadaver.
Yeah. That was my next question. That way, you reading my mind.
You were
Okay.
going to ask about that. There will be another version release of the game, and with it, we're going to nerf or rather fix Cadaver, and namely his A1. We're gonna put a 200k cap to the additional damage from his shield.
A 200k cap to the additional damage of the shield. Do you guys know what that means? That's dead. Like that cannot be used at all. This is like, look, I was all in for them to fix that team because it was just busted. You know, like you cannot overpower any other team in the game 40 times by and call it normal because no other game has something like that. But I'm not at the point where I want it killed because that again will just leave Trandas, will leave Acrisias, Grazurs, you know. I would have liked the Corpulent to be viable, like, I don't know, 1 billion, 1 billion and a half, if you're really pushing it to extreme 2 billion, you know, as a team, and yeah, to have a chance to compete with the other ones, you know. But I feel like if they're putting 200k next to the shield or 400k, whatever she said, like right now, a Corpulent Cadaver hits for like 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 million per hit. So could you imagine the downscale of that?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So moving over to the next thing. That's happening to Corpulent in the next patch, right?
Are also going to introduce that permanent fusion.
Ooh.
So we're going to get a permanent fusion for mythical champions. Now, she's not really giving us many details on what sort of champion, what we need to use in order to get that champion and stuff, you know, but it's going to be much harder than a legendary. That's what she said, you know, so that's one thing to keep in mind, guys. Then moving over to the next thing, which is the huge new update.
Be all this new hard content coming, and you're gonna need these champions, guys, and blah blah blah. And you also dropped the line of like, "Don't worry, we're gonna give you a free mythical champion." So where's that freebie? Is that the fusion? Is that the permanent fusion that you're referring to, or is there another freebie? I'm still waiting on my free mythical, Cirilla.
Keep waiting, bitch.
Before I forget, we also know that one of the mythical champions desperately needs to be looked at. This is Siegfried. His survivability needs like rework, and we're looking in that direction. As for other ways to get a free champion, there's some huge content coming up, and we are looking to get it out by the end of the year, if all goes well. So this is even bigger than the Doom Tower.
Whoa!
It is going to provide a
Bigger than the Doom Tower, guys. So the Doom Tower is possibly the biggest content update this game ever had. So this sounds very promising. I'm looking forward to it. Raid Shadow Legends is in desperate need of a major patch, okay? A massive update. That's what we need in Raid Shadow Legends. And I feel like us as players are looking forward to something new. And I'm not just saying it from a point of view like a content creator. I'm just generally saying it as a player, you know? Like, we need something to light up that spark again. Like, to want to make us do something that's not as repetitive, you know?
lot of
You
content.
gave me my title, Cirilla, even bigger than Doom Tower.
Really a lot of content
Wow.
to conquer.
Holy moly, even bigger than Doom Tower. Wow, you're getting my...
So that's very, very interesting. She's not really giving us more details than that, though. What she specified is that it's not going to be this. So it's not going to be the Dark Void, the Great Void. She said it's nothing to do with this, okay? So very curious what exactly is going to be. Most probably some new sort of features that we haven't really thought about. You know, who knows? They might innovate and come out with something new. Some of you guys might be playing Summoner's War. Let us know in the comments down below what other things they have in that game, because they do tend to kind of like get some inspiration from there, you know, and who knows, maybe they are doing it again, but let us know in the comments down below. So going back to it.
You're getting my juices flowing here. This...
So right here, why Rare is in the Primal Shards, guys, basically they're saying they don't want to devalue the Sacred Shards. They want the Sacred Shards to be the only shards that don't drop rare champions. So that's about it, pretty much.
10.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Just something I thought of. It's not Great Void.
Okay, it's not Great Void.
It's not the Void Tower that everyone has been talking about. It's something else.
What about Great Void?
No. Don't get me there.
Okay, the only things in the game right now that are hidden still, you know, 4 or 5 years after the game was launched.
And then she's saying we're getting artifact storage, so we're basically getting 200 for artifacts, for accessories. I think 200 for champions as well, but I might be wrong on that. She hasn't really specified each one individually, you know. Of course, for champions is going to be extremely costly. I don't even want to think about it. And then changes to polymorph. This is going to be interesting.
Not really. We tweaked it, and we still see that it's not performing in a satisfactory way. So we thought that we would tweak it even more, and that is planned for like the beginning of next year. What we were thinking about is making it proc once per instance, and that would help.
That will help tremendously, because that's the main problem right now. If you're taking Ramanto, for example, his A2 attacks 4 times, right? He has a chance to debuff with each one of the skills. Now, if the first hit goes, polymorph doesn't proc, it's fine. The second one tries it again. The third one attempts it again. The fourth one attempts it again. And the chance to get polymorph is just skyrocketing to a million% guaranteed, basically. You know, so they need to adjust that. And I'm definitely happy to hear that, you know, because I've been tired of the polymorph meta vaulting all the champions in the game and leaving 20 viable, not even 20, okay? That's how impactful polymorph was, more than anything else. And they're talking about more champion rebalancing and stuff, but they're not really giving many details about it. Epic and Rare Empowerment, guys, she doesn't have an answer for it, okay? So I'm gonna cut it short here. She doesn't have an answer for it, unfortunately. So most probably they are not planning anything like that.
It's done really well before we release it, but this is something that we're working on actively, yes.
So they are actively working on clan versus clan wars, which is kind of like a PvP from clan to clan. More of a social thing, which is great because we need something like this in the game. I was actually talking with Ash in a different video that we had together, and they are actively testing it. They're actively working on it, but they want to make sure they are releasing something good and they're not rushing it. Now, what exactly is going to be, I honestly have no idea, guys. But we got some pretty interesting news in here. I'm actually pretty excited for some things. I'm looking forward to the what's next in Raid video, because they're doing them amazing. They always hype me up for whatever reason. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would expect the what's next in Raid video will drop next week while I'm away, as usual, because why not? That was all for this video. Much love. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.